refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Another episode of RBO with your guy, Vaughn. We're here today to talk about 3 teams that made some crucial moves this offseason. But first, before we get started, how is everybody doing today? Hope everybody's had a lovely 4th of July. You know, you got to see some fireworks with your family. You got to eat some good food, spend some good quality time. I know I did, for sure. We're into this episode, and I want everybody to like, subscribe, share this video with anybody that's a huge NBA fan, and let them know Vaughn Live. We about to get into some moves that done happen. These are some blockbuster moves, kind of, so everybody knows about all these moves for sure. We're just gonna dive a little deeper into the moves and just talk about how these moves are going to impact, because all these teams last year, they were playoff teams. Before we get started, there's a link down below. You can become a member to join the R2L family. And with that link, you get a lot of perks. You know, you get access to these chats, which is, I think, probably the number 1 perk. Well, actually, that's probably the number 2 perk, because once you get access to these chats, you get all these, you know, live debates, you get live updates. You know what I'm saying? You get to learn things from different guys. Also, you get a chance to come on to the different shows. Yes, it's not just RBO. It's a whole network. We got a baseball show, a boxing show, and many more. And I'm going to touch into those a little bit more at the end. But let's go ahead and dive on into these topics, because we got to talk about this team right here, man. This team just made it to the finals. You know, a lot of people criticized them when they made a big move to get a big player, and then they end up tanking that year, not even trying to make it into the playoffs to compete. However, it seemed to bode well for this team, because the Mavericks have reloaded. Now, this year, they overachieved a lot, if you ask me. Nobody expected the Mavericks to make it to the finals at all. A lot of people had the Nuggets, and then when Minnesota beat the Nuggets, a lot of people had Minnesota. So the Mavericks definitely, Kyrie and Luka, especially Luka, he proved a lot of guys that he can get there. He can get his team there. Now his next job is to finish the job. You know, you got there now. Now it's time to finish the job. And it seems like the Mavericks are trying to do that. They're making moves to make that happen, with the addition of a guy like Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson from the Warriors. I think this move right here is a beautiful move for both parties. For one, Klay Thompson doesn't have that whole splash brother, you know, thing going. It's just, now you're here in a new atmosphere. You got 2 guys that can take it off the dribble and do it at will. And all you have to really do is come out there and be a veteran, stretch the floor, hit your shots, play some defense. There's no pressure. There's no Warrior pressure no more. I mean, you're going to still have some pressure, because you are known to be one of the best shooters to ever play the game. But I feel like here you have a clean slate. You know, you get a new atmosphere. Everybody needs a new scenery every once in a while because playing with a guy like Luka and Kyrie that garners so much attention, you're going to get your open looks. And both those guys can pass really well. Those guys have high IQ. I know Kyrie's an underrated passer, but everybody knows how great of a passer Luka is. Luka, he could pass with the best of them, for sure. The thing about Clay is he has to mentally be ready. He has to mentally lock in and just do his job. He doesn't have to go out there and be the same exact Clay that he was early in his years in the Warriors. He doesn't have to do that. You have Luka and Kyrie on your team now. You don't have to do that, bro. All you have to do is get out there, shoot over 40% from three, play some defense, and give us a couple games where you dropping it off. Couple games, that's all we need. And when playoff time comes, because that's when they really need you in the playoffs. Because we saw what happened in the playoffs with this team. It was like nobody can do nothing, And I'll say in the finals because that Minnesota series and even all the other series, guys were stepping up. But against Boston, nobody could do nothing. So adding a guy like Clay would definitely add another threat. It will make the team have to really game plan for a guy like Clay because their shooter last year was supposed to be Tim Hardaway, but he barely was on the floor. And one game that he played, he shot terrible. I don't think he hit a shot all game. And everybody was talking about it, and he came in and hit 5 threes the next game, I believe. So I like Clay there for sure. And shout out to Carl. I like Clay to Dallas. I agree, bro. I like that move too for both parties for sure. Shout out to Joe. Clay will have a lot of open looks, was taking a lot of tough shots these last couple years. I agree, Joe. That's why I say this is a good look for him. He doesn't have that same, that same warrior mystique over on that. He has to live by that type of Clay because when Clay, we're with the Warriors, we expect him to pull those type of shots. But now with Dallas, bro, you're going to, like you say, he's going to get a lot of open looks. Like Luka Doncic, you can't single coverage him all game. You're going to have to send a double, and it's up to Jason Kidd to draw up some good plays to get Clay open because guys like Luka and guys like Kyrie are definitely going to find him. Shout out to Joe again, another comment. Garbage time, Tim. Yeah, he definitely came in garbage time, but he hit the 5 threes, man. He hit the shots. Oh, man. Hey, we talked about the Pistons, I believe, a little bit last episode. Hey, Carl, it's all good, man. Hey, he a Piston now, so now I got to defend him. Sad face. It's all right, Carl. I think he going to have some good games because you said you want a shooter, so yeah, I got y'all a couple shooters for sure. So the Mavericks, they also picked up Najee Marshall from the Pelicans, which I think is an excellent pickup. He's a wing player with good size. Shout out Najee. He's from the DMV area. Shout out Najee. Shout out DMV. And I like this move. He's a solid defender. He's like, when you play guys, the teams like the Celtics, you need guys like this. Like, he's a guy that can come in off the bench and he can, I'm not saying he gonna just, dominate, but he's a guy that can hold his own, And they had Doug Jones playing that role last year. Well, actually, yeah, Doug Jones, I believe, was starting. I like him coming off the bench because I believe, Clay gonna start. Him coming off the bench is going to be a good pickup for them because he's good off the dribble. He's a good facilitator. He's a solid scorer. I mean, he's not dropping 30 a game or nothing, but he has potential to really drop some buckets. And I like this pickup a lot. Shout out Joe again. I love the Najee pickup. Me too. Replaces Derrick Jones. And he's a little better on the offensive end than Derrick Jones, especially with the ball in his hand, which I think guys like that, it's a beautiful thing to have. A role player that if you kick it out to him, he's not just going to catch and shoot. He'll catch it, cross somebody, spin off, and get a bucket. And that's the type of player that Najee is. And when you got guys like that out there that can come out there and give you like 6 points off the bench, 8 points off the bench, off some tough buckets, though, you love him. And he can play some solid defense. Carl, another comment, bro. I'm actually not upset at the move. He a free trial player that came with. Oh yeah, we talking about Tim Hardaway. Yeah, you got it, bro. Tim Hardaway. I'm telling you, he gonna do y'all some justice. I feel like Najee a good player. People don't really pay attention to. Yes, he's a guy. You know, a lot of bench players, especially for teams like the Pelicans. You know, the teams that don't really be on TV that much. A lot of people are not gonna know about these guys, but him coming to the Mavericks, oh, they gonna know. They gonna really know for sure. Hey, shout out Joe, Najee, a dog too. I know the Pelicans was getting at y'all this year, so you saw a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? I understand. All right, another pickup that they picked up was Quentin Grimes, young shooter. He played with the Knicks, and then he got traded to the Pistons in the season. And I like Quentin Grimes. He's a young player, and he's a young guy that he can get hot from the 3-point line. Like they're doing a good thing by getting a lot of shooters to surround a guy like Luka, a guy like Kyrie, because those guys, like I say, those are one-on-one artists that can get a bucket at any time. However, they're really good passers, especially Luka, being 6'7", being able to see the floor like he can see the floor. Yeah, having guys like Quentin Grimes, Klay Thompson, you know what I'm saying? Those even Najee, he can hit some threes. We saw Derek Lively hit a three in the finals. That was crazy. Not gonna lie. But I like these additions for the Mavericks. They also, you know, they got some guys out the draft. Stay tuned. This Sunday, there will be a live episode. I'll be partnering with my guy Carl, CTC Carl, and we will be doing we'll do a live show breaking down teams that drafted both their draft picks, with all their draft picks, trades, whatever they did, and we're gonna break them down so everybody know exactly what kind of player they're getting. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, the Mavericks definitely made some good moves, and I love it. I love what I see out the Mavericks, and I think that they are definitely reloaded and they're ready to try to get back to them finals because already I'll say this team is better. You got to say that. They just added Klay Thompson. Like Klay Thompson's better than everybody on that team, not named Kyrie and Luka. So that is an excellent pickup. So shout out to the Mavs. Hey, Kev, I know you was excited about that. Let's see what y'all do, man. Y'all might got a couple more moves up y'all sleeve. I wouldn't mind seeing y'all get a backup point guard for sure, because I don't know who that is. X him? I need to X him out. But yeah. So next topic, we're going to talk about a team in the East. A new big three out here in Philly. We're talking about the 76ers new big three. Everybody knows that the 76ers just acquired Paul George from free agency. Paul George is actually my guy. I'm a Paul George fan. I like his game. One thing about Paul George is he's not consistent. He's definitely not consistent. Shout out my boy Teddy, baseball with Teddy. What they do? He's not consistent. You know, we see PG lead a team in the playoffs, you know, and ball out. Then we also see PG get cooked by Joe Ingles. Like, I don't know what to expect, to be honest. You know, I'm happy for the team. Maxey over there, I'm a huge Maxey fan now. He won me over as far as his game in the playoff this year. I mean, this season he's been balling, but the playoffs he really showed me he a bucket. He's a really good player. So Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid. Where do we rank this big three? Where do we rank this big three? Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George. Some would say they have the potential to be the best big three in the league. And I'm not mad at that. Having a guy like Embiid when he's healthy, he's arguably the best player in the league. Paul George, perennial all-star. Then we have a guy in Maxey, young star, rising up into superstardom, which I think he's like right there at that line. You know, like when you're doing a race and you gotta break the little line, you gotta break the ribbon. He right there at the ribbon. Hey, shout out Tomo, the mid Vengers. Yeah, man. Paul George and Joel Embiid have the same problem. They both are hurt all the time. These guys are hurt, not just like normally. Well, I want to say Embiid is hurt normally. Embiid is hurt when you need him the most in the playoffs. And when you're a guy like Embiid, a guy that can dominate games and take over, we need you. Now, this would be good because the offense is not going to have to solely heavily rely on Embiid and Maxey, which, excuse me, they got the job done as far as getting to the playoffs and those things. But having a guy like Paul George is definitely going to help on both sides of the ball. I mean, they did lose, what's my guy, Milton, which I was a big fan of. He's one of the best defensive guards in the league. Shout out my man, DeAnthony. But because we seen Tyrese Maxey take over. We seen Tyrese Maxey be a star. So if Maxey him and Paul George can really like help out more in the playoffs, create the momentum a little bit more in the playoffs to where shout out Joe, where they can have a low managed Embiid type of plan. This move can do something. The thing is, Paul George got to stay healthy. Now, we know Paul George got his podcast and all that going on. And we know Paul George had a little, I believe it was some type of, he was talking about how in the bubble he was going through some things because he couldn't see his family, like the whole Clippers team. Hey, them Philly fans don't play. Shout out Cavs. I had to shout him out right here because I brought up Philly. Even though he a real Mavs fan, appreciate the great content, Brody. Yes, sir. I just talked about y'all, man. Make sure you go back and you know what I'm saying. If you got something to say, you know where I'm at, dog. You know where I'm at. Shout out my boy Dave, RBO. Yes, sir. Hill of the Mental. Call again if we talking or higher than Boston's. Listen. Hey, Joe, you just took the words out of my mouth, man. Pause for you guys. That's, a little childish. If Embiid is fully healthy in the playoffs, they could win the chip. That's it right there. That's it. If Embiid is healthy, Paul George healthy, Maxey's healthy, what is stopping them? My bad, Teddy. I ain't no disrespect. Because y'all out there. But no one has an answer for Embiid when he's playing and he's healthy. So Embiid, can you do all of us a favor? Not just J-Mo in the city of Philly. We want to see you in the playoffs healthy, bro. So Paul George, Maxey, get ready to take over in the regular season. Young boy McCain out of Duke. You might get some bump. We need to see Embiid. Shout out my boy Tomo, man. Hey, y'all in my notes. Hey, y'all in my notes, Mo. I know y'all the refuse to lose team. I do the main show. But dang. Shout out Tomo, man. With Drummond, I think this is the year he gets his break during games. Yes. Y'all know what Drummond brings. Drummond brings that grit, grind, them rebounds. And that's one thing that can get a guy like Embiid hurt. But one thing about Embiid, I think Drummond is definitely going to help. However, Embiid don't need to be dribbling the ball like he did this year as much. Come on, man. He got hurt dribbling the ball away from the paint. He was like in between the 3-ball, like mid post, in between the 3 and the free throw, and he was doing too much. I think they need to scale that back a bit. So a guy like Paul George on the ball a little bit more. Now you can get the ball at the midi, but you don't need to be doing too many dribbles. You pump faking, you jabbing. It's gonna be crazy. Oh, Teddy. Hey, I don't know that one. Hey, what's Embiid's record versus Celtics during the playoffs? Hey, I know it ain't good. Oh, he don't do it. He done gave it to us already. 3-12. Hey, J-Mo. I don't know. Hey, I ain't seen you. Hey, I'm out the. Hey, Teddy on your boy live, man. We gotta see. Hey, I think it's funny. Carl sent this one. I think it's funny Embiid and Drummond now teammates. I agree, Carl, because Embiid used to dog Drummond, just like how he dogs Gobert. He used to dog Drummond the same way. It was crazy. Joe, another comment, especially with PG now. PG is a good point forward. Showed us that Western Conference Finals run. I agree. I remember with the Pacers, he was playing the power forward when he was in the East, and he was cooking. He was balling out. So Paul George is very versatile. That's why this is a very good pick. He's a veteran. Like he's a guy that can take over. He's a guy that can defend. So this is going to be interesting for the East because a lot of people just had the Celtics going back again, but this move right here done shook things up a lot because PG is a big dog, and you got Philly, you got the Knicks down there making some moves, and you got the Celtics. Don't forget about my squad, the Magic. We're gonna talk about them next episode though. Well, not next one, the next one, because we doing some young things. We ain't gotta run after them superstars like these other guys. They were teammates before though, weren't they? Drummond and Embiid. Somebody fact check that and let us know in the comments. All right. Shout out to the Sixers, man. They're doing big things. I feel like that was a really good move for them because they, like Joe said, low manage Embiid. They need that because Embiid in the playoffs, him and Maxey already is a force, but adding a guy like Paul George is just gonna be crazy. Them guys gotta show up though. This is really no excuse. Embiid done had Jimmy Butler over there with Ben Simmons in the gang. And now it's like he got Maxey now, so what you gonna do with PG, my boy? We gonna see. All right. Shout out to everybody in the comments, man. Y'all doing y'all thing, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this video because we about to talk about another team in the West. One of the best, actually. And that's OKC, man. OKC got a veteran presence now. I ain't talking about nobody on the bench. These guys are going to be on the floor playing minutes. They got Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein. Excellent pickups. Excellent. All right, Dave fact checked us for the Drummond. Yeah, they played together in 21. Okay. It's still funny, though. So, OKC, man, they picked up Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein. Excellent pickups for this team. What was OKC missing? They got the scoring. They got defenders. They got, facilitators. They got a squad. Rim protector. They lack that veteran presence. They lack those players that, when people are getting rattled, people are, not shaking in their boots, but they're getting a little rushed. These are the guys that slow them down. These are the guys that come to them and say, hey, SGA, this your time. Take over. Because I forgot what game it was against the Mavericks. I think it was game 2, I believe. It was one game. It was close down the stretch, and SGA kept passing. I'm like, no, bro. You got 40. Take over. It's time for you to take over. Can't nobody check you out there. Take over. And that's when a guy like Alex Caruso or Hartenstein will go over there and say, this your time. This your time. I don't play with Jalen Brunson last year in the playoffs and seen him take over. You can do the same thing. Take over. It's your time. Not to mention what they actually bring to the table on the floor. Isaiah Hartenstein, what did he show us in the playoffs? He's gritty. He's grimy. He get down there. He bored. He even defends the run pretty well, if you ask me. He got that crazy little floater he does every time he's in front of the rim, and it's like automatic. Like Isaiah Hartenstein is an excellent big man for a team like OKC that got a guy like Shaq who really isn't a center at this moment. He has to get a little bit more weight on him, get a little stronger to withstand those hits. He's really a stretch four, 7 foot stretch four that can do it all. Having him and Isaiah Hartenstein out there would be crazy. Not just for the rebounds, but for the defense. You get the inside out presence. You get the hustle guy. You get the guy that's agile, the guy that can slide his feet, run protect like crazy. OKC done made some moves, man. This team is looking good, man. It reminds me of this Alex Caruso move. Reminds me of what my Magic did with KCP. Got a veteran guard that can defend. Caruso isn't the shooter that KCP is, but he can hit threes. The thing that he does better than KCP, he's an excellent ball handler. He's a guy that he has good vision, and he will flush that joint on your head. You thought, oop, he got bunnies. Alex Caruso is a do-it-all type of player. He doesn't do nothing on offense super great, but defense, he's one of the best defending guards in the league. Top 5, top 3, really, if you ask me. Like point guard, smaller guards, he's like top 3, one of the best. That's why you saw, if you in the chats, become a member, click the link down low. Oh, was crying when they let go of Caruso. He was crying. I understand though. Caruso was one of the guys that helped the Lakers get that ring in the bubble. He's one of those guys. He's an excellent piece for a young team like OKC for them to make the next league. And then adding Isaiah Hartenstein, like I said, it allows Shaq to be out on the perimeter a little bit more. He doesn't have to be down low, getting too fit, banging with these guys all the time. So, OKC, y'all all right with me. I don't got no beef. SGA did try to disrespect my boy Paulo and his rookie year, saying Shaq should have been number 1. But I took that as him saying he really wanted Paulo as his teammate. So I get it. But Paulo ain't do nothing but dunk on him the next game. So you know how that go. But that is it for today, guys. I had, these 3 teams, these 3 moves I really want to talk about because I think these 3 teams can be contenders next year. You do have other moves. You got the Pelicans just picked up DeJounte Murray, which I thought was an excellent pickup for them, but you don't know what's going on with that team either. Ingram couldn't stay healthy last year, or Zion couldn't stay healthy last year. And, it's a couple other moves we definitely going to tap into more. Don't forget, this Sunday, we're going to give you a time very soon. So lock in with me and my boy Carl. We'll be breaking down a lot of the first round, second round picks in the NBA draft, so you can really learn about these guys. There's a lot of new faces. Me and Carl agreed this wasn't the greatest draft as far as like future superstars. You never know though, because it's diamonds in the roughs all the time. But this draft has a lot of solid, excellent, role players, guys that can plug and play. So you're gonna really learn a lot. So tap in with us on Sunday. But let's talk about these shows really quick before we get out of here. First show I want to talk about is Dave's Doghouse. Shout out my boy Dave. This is a show with Dave. Either you're gonna be a dog or you in the doghouse. If you've been slumming, if you've been doing something you're not supposed to be doing, you're in the doghouse, and it's no cut cost with that. You in there, no food, no water, so that's how it go. But if you balling, if you doing something crazy, something extraordinary, something out of this world, something nobody else is doing that's different, you will be a dog. Get to walk the lawn, get to eat, get to drink, bark at the neighbors if you want to. Have a good time. That's Dave's Doghouse. The next show is In the Red Corner. This is a boxing show. You have 3 hosts on here. Definitely check these guys out. These guys know their stuff. You get 3 different perspectives, which is always good when watching any type of show or anything that's giving you information. and these guys really know how to put on the show. Next, we have Kings Talk with Joe Jordan. This show is all about the Kings. If you're a Kings fan, tap in with bro. He's gonna talk about some stuff. Him and Trent just recently had an episode talking about things with the Kings. So definitely check those guys out. Those are probably the two diehard Kings fans I ever met. I mean, I don't know too many Kings fans to be honest, but they lit. They was lit before the Bean got there. So shout out to the Kings for sure. Carl talking college. This is my guy Carl. He talks college football, college basketball. I just told y'all this Sunday, me and him will be partnering up and doing a draft recap, discussing every team that, you know, if you're in the chat and you have a team, we're going to break down each player that you guys drafted for you guys, so you can really learn about the players that you're going to get. But definitely tap in with my boy Carl. He is the guru of this college stuff, and you won't be disappointed. Next, we have baseball with Teddy. This is my guy, the baseball guru. Teddy is a diehard Yankees fan, so they actually just had an episode of talking about the All-Star game, the home run derby, and those things. Definitely check it out. Those guys are always lit. But Teddy is a diehard Yankees fan. Especially if you're a Yankees fan, tap in. He's going to break it down for you. Every series, you know, he breaks it down, and you won't be disappointed at all. We have FFC. That's fantasy football with Coach. Coach is our fantasy football guru right now. He just discussed different NFL topics to pretty much get you ready for the fantasy football season. So if you want to be ahead of the curve, if you want to, you know, win your league, tap in with Coach, because last year he definitely was dropping some gems. I made it to the championship, but I took it L. I didn't listen to Coach on my last one. I messed up. That's on me. So tap in with Coach for sure. Last show is the Refuse to Lose show. That's with Joe, Dave, and Tomo. This is our main show. These guys tap in. They talk about all different sports: hockey, baseball, football, WNBA, college sports. They give you a little bit of everything. So definitely tap in with those guys. And like I said again, man, excuse me, like, subscribe, share this video, click the link in the bio down low, become a member, join the family. It's not just a sports network, it's a sports family. You won't be disappointed. You will definitely enjoy. It's a lot of good times in the chats. You get some live heated debates at times, and it's all you do is sit back and get your popcorn. It's definitely a beautiful thing. But let's type in. It's a couple of comments I want to look at before we left. My boy Mike, yo, what up, Mike? Bark at the neighbors. Yeah, hey, Dave, you know about them dogs? They gonna bark. Them dogs gonna bark. What it do, Mike? Kev, I had to rewind it, but it's Jaden Hardy, Vaughn. Dennis Smith Jr. back in Mavs would be tough, though. You know, I said something about Dennis Smith Jr. I don't recall that, but I like Hardy. That's my guy, young stunner. Hopefully he gets some more burn, because I think he got a lot of good knowledge playing in the playoff this year. But thank everybody for being on here with me, man. I really appreciate the love. Definitely going to be back this Sunday. Don't forget, we'll have a time for you very, very soon. It's me and my boy Carl. We're going to be breaking down, you know, every draft pick from every person's team in the chat. So if you in the chat and you got a team, we're going to break it down. So definitely lock in, tune in if you want to learn about your rookies, because we're going to let y'all know. And some of y'all going to have some scrub rookies, but some of y'all going to have some good rookies. But it's all good, because everything going to show for itself, because you already know. Real ballers going ball.